Welcome to Raise My Queen, a podcast inspired by my daughter, Denisha Williams, aka CEO Sample. It's a podcast that inspires and empowers young females and males trying to navigate this thing called life without a father or father figure. In this podcast, I will share stories and life lessons of successes and failures as I shared with my daughter as I was raising my queen. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Raise My Queen, a podcast inspired by my daughter, Denisha Williams, aka CEO Sample. And I guess a lot of people are wondering what inspired me to do this podcast, other than, or what about my daughter inspired me to do this podcast. And I guess it was a couple of things that really spoke to me that made me want to dive in and really do this video. One stemmed from a conversation with my daughter back in September of 2017 when she walked into the room, put her arms around me and said, "Dad, you just don't get it, do you?" And I'm like, "Don't get what, baby?" She said, "You're not the norm." She said, "I keep telling you that, but you just don't get it." She said, "I have a lot of friends that have guy problems, a lot of female friends that have guy problems because they got daddy issues." She said, "I'm quick to tell a guy, I don't have daddy issues. I might have an attitude issue, but not daddy issues." And so she would go on to try to convince me to either put together a podcast or a YouTube channel or something in which I was teaching other females the lessons of life that I had taught her and that I had instilled in her, as a young female. Because a lot of time her friends would ask her different things and she would come out and give answers to them. And they're like, "Man, your dad keep you on point, don't he?" And so basically it was just something that that I just wanted to do as a kid. I knew that growing up in the 60s where there was a whole lot of domestic violence going on, and I was around that and seeing it. So I knew when I got to be an adult that I didn't want to treat my wife that way, neither did I want to raise my daughter that way or raise my daughter to tolerate anything like that. So basically, these are some of the reasons why I spent a lot of time teaching my daughter some of the things that I taught her that might have been maybe traditional for a lot of guys. Maybe a lot of dads don't teach their daughters those things, but I want to make sure my daughter knew. I want to make sure if it's anything from the streets or anything about men, that my daughter got it from her dad, that she knew what was up. And that's the importance of you being a father. And an important role that a father plays in their child's life is, number one, he's that protector, he's that provider. He's that one that's going to show that young man how to treat a lady by the way he treats his mother. Okay? He's that one that's going to show a young lady how a man should treat her by the way he treats his wife or her mother, and the way that he treats her, and just different things that he teach her, the values that she have, that whether her life is worth something. These are the things that, that dad plays that role in. So it's very important for that dad. Another thing that was a driving point was in 2016, Nisha had put a post on my Facebook page that read in the following manner: "Happy Father's Day to my real life hero. Most people will never know the story behind my love for you. I'm not sure if you ever truly understand it, but please know that everything I am, every success that I have, is because you didn't give up on me, and because you planted the seeds, even if you aren't the one that watered it for everything. Thank you for showing me unconditional love, and for believing that even your black sheep could one day use her difference to not just stand out, but to be great. I love you, Dad. Hope I'm making you proud. From the heart." And so this post has a lot of things in it. Number one, she said nobody would truly understand her story. Everybody has a story, and you can't go back from where you are and change the beginning of your story, but you can start from where you are right now and change the ending. Okay, so if you take the time out to read and invest in yourself, then maybe you can change the path of your life and which way you're going. And you notice in her message, she was saying that I always believed in her. I always try to believe in my kids. I always try to encourage them to follow their dreams and do the things that they want to do. Never let nobody else tell you that you can't do a vision that God has given you. If you can see it, if God give you that vision, then you can do it. You just got to take the right steps and move forward to do it, make it happen. There's two people in life, two types of people in life. There's those that get it done and those that make excuses. Which one are you? Okay, so let's talk about Nisha. I remember I got a call from the doctor, and the doctor said, Mr. Sample, we think that the lupus is in your daughter's kidneys, and we want to do a biopsy to check. And right now she doesn't want to do it because, she wants to go home. She feels she has business she has to run, and she's losing time by being up in here. And we want you with your daughter, and we see how close your bond is. We figure that you could be the one to persuade her to take the biopsy test. So I said, okay, well, I'll come and I'll see. So I walked into the hospital. Nisha looks at me and said, I know why you're here. And I said, why am I here? She said, because the doctors want me to take a biopsy test, and I told them I didn't want to. And so they call you because they know that I love you and I'll do anything that you ask me to do. And I said, well, babe, at this point, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see my daughter and just to show you love. And basically, if it were me, would I take the biopsy test? Yes, but that's your decision. You have to make that decision and figure out what you're going to do. So she took the test, and they figured out what was going to go on with her, what was going on with her. And so they were taking her off the steroids. And as she was taking off the steroids, she started having these little side effects from it, where she was kind of like just talk about different little things. So I walked in the room one day, and she was looking up towards the ceiling, and she was talking to God. And she was laughing, God, that's so funny. Yeah. What about this guy? Oh, I remember that one. And so when I walked in, she said, you come take me home? I said, not this moment, baby, because, we're waiting on you to get over these effects. And so we had a conversation before that I told her anytime she's ready to go home, I would take her. And I kind of reneged on the conversation because I didn't want to take her home in a bad condition and was worried about it. And so she said, I can't trust you. You don't keep your word. And one of the nurses came in and tried to calm her down, and Nisha wouldn't calm down because she was really mad about it. Then all of a sudden I seen Nisha look up, and she said, yeah. Okay, I'm calm, God, I'm calm. She said, but God, why he can't see it? Why he can't see it, God? Why he can't see how special I am? And so then she calmed back down. So later, when she died, I remember walking into the room to look at the body for the first time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to break down. I didn't know how I was going to react because, you just imagine yourself in my shoes. This is your daughter. This is your friend. This is your hype girl. This is the person that you read books and you share dreams and visions with. And this person is gone at a young age of 33. And now you walk in the room and you see her lying there, cold with no life. How do you act? I didn't know how I was going to respond. So I walk into the room and I see her. And I said, oh my God. Right then, the spirit of gratitude just came over me. And I stopped thinking about what I had lost. I stopped thinking about the fact that I had lost my daughter. And I started giving God thanks for the 33 years that he trusted me to be her dad, that he trusted me to look over his little angel. And I started saying, God, I see it now. I see it. I said, she's so beautiful. I said, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for allowing me to watch over your angel for the past 33 years. Thank you, God. I hope I didn't let you down. I hope I was that kind of father that you wanted me to be. And I just stood there and I just looked at her. And then it came to mind when the little voice said to me, he said, remember when you was in the hospital and Nisha got calm? I said, yes. And he said, that was me. I was there. Remember when she said, Dad, why can't he see it? And I said, he will. And at that time, I did. At that moment, I seen exactly how beautiful she was. I seen exactly the miracle that God had made and God had trusted and given to me. And so what I'm saying to you guys is that sometimes in life, you can love somebody and you can be there for them, but you also got to remember to show that love. Love is not love until you give it away. And true love means loving somebody the most when they deserve it the least. Don't wait till somebody's on the deathbed or wait till somebody's gone to show them that you love them. Now, that wasn't my case with my daughter, because I showed my daughter that I love her, and everybody knew that I loved my daughter. But there were situations where I should have been more passionate or more loving at moments, but I was kind of stern because I wanted her to fight. And I realized the fact was that, hey, everybody that's in the hospital don't want to be saved. They don't, some of them want to move on. They want to go. They tired of suffering. My daughter been suffering for 10 years. She been dealing with swollen feet. She been dealing with the point where she couldn't walk. She been dealing with pain. She been dealing with so many other things that she was tired of the fight. And she was just ready to go home to God and just rest. But I was sitting there saying, hey, babe, fight. They told her she wouldn't have kids. And she said, Dad, you don't get it, do you? You don't get it. She said, when I found out that I was dying at a young age, my husband and I prayed. And she said, when I found out I was dying at a young age and they told me that I couldn't have kids, we prayed to God and said, God, can you bless me with a little girl that looks like me? So when you take me away from here, that my dad is hurting and he's crying, that he has somebody that looks like me to be there for him. And she said, God blessed her with a little girl. And we named her Nyla. She said, oh, that was intentional, Dad. She said, because all my life, I try to make you happy. I try to please you. And so, I'm just telling you, for those of you that doubt God or doubt prayer, stop doubting and try it. Trust Him. Step out on faith. For those of you that got issues, or you not telling people that you love them, or you not spending time in your child life, or you are a father and you don't want to go out and spend time with your child because you got baby mama issues, or you a baby mama and you don't want your baby daddy to deal with your kid because he didn't pay child support this month or whatever. Put all that aside and let them spend those moments together, because that's something you can't give them back. That's something you can't give them back. So these are the things that, that I learned from my daughter during that time frame. And even though it was tough and it was difficult, we made it through. And I'm glad that I got this moment to share with you and teach you some of the things and some of the lessons that I learned from Raising My Queen. God bless you guys. I'll see you next week on episode 2, where I dive in with my granddaughter, Nyla, introduce you to her and let you talk about some of the different things that we learned, okay? God bless you guys. Take care.